Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the sport of boxing. In today's bonus segment, I'll be sharing the latest boxing news in the sport of boxing. So I'll be sharing my biggest headlines that have occurred either today or in the week in the sport of boxing. So let's start off with the huge Ryan Garcia suspension news that just happened a few hours ago in the world of boxing. Ryan Garcia has officially been suspended in the sport of boxing. Ryan Garcia has come to terms with the New York State of Boxing, the Boxing Commission in New York, stating that he is now suspended for 1 year in the sport of boxing. He also had to forfeit $1.1 million and his purse that he earned officially forfeited, and had to pay a $10,000 fine. And his fight with Devin Haney is now ruled and labelized as a no contest affair. So that's huge in this sport of boxing for Ryan Garcia. Me personally, I don't have a problem with the commission giving Ryan Garcia this 1 year suspension. He did pop dirty on several tests, which I do believe is the right outcome. And Ryan Garcia is actually lucky that he only got suspended for 1 year in the sport of boxing. It could have been way worse, and he could have paid more than $10,000 worth in money in terms of fines for what he popped dirty for in the sport of boxing. We need healthy, clean fighters in the sport of boxing. There should be no cheating absolutely at all. But really, if you want to get technical about it, Ryan Garcia did pop dirty, but that's not going to change anybody's opinion for what happened for that belt to ass treatment when Ryan Garcia gave Devin Haney in the sport of boxing a few months ago. I'm sorry, even though Ryan Garcia popped dirty, you mean to tell me that we're all supposed to forget that Ryan Garcia used the same signature check left hook over and over and over again to send Devin Haney to the canvas, not once, not twice, but 3 times in that fight? And you mean to tell me that was all PEDs? No, that's the fact that Devin Haney couldn't stop a signature check left hook the entire fight. He wasn't quick enough. He wasn't strong enough to adapt to what Ryan Garcia was giving him. And I still stand on that. If Devin Haney's fighting a fighter that is stronger than him, faster than him, and in the same age range as him, he's in trouble. I said that when Devin Haney lost this fight, even when the drug test happened. I still stand on that because his best wins are against Regis Prograis or Vasily Lomachenko, who are both in their late 30s. Both are not as fast as Devin Haney. Both are not as technical as Devin Haney. If you have those abilities and you're fighting Devin Haney, you have a good chance of winning. That's why a lot of people see food for Devin Haney. Gervonta Davis sees food when he looks at Devin Haney because that's a mismatch. Because power, explosiveness, quickness, Devin Haney cannot stop that. And if he's not landing a signature check, his signature jabs in fights, it's a long night in the office for him. So I still stand on that, even though that Ryan Garcia popped dirty. That belt to ass treatment still ain't gonna get out of my head, and it's just facts. Now, and then moving on to Devin Haney, has Devin Haney's stock officially taken a hit? Now, this week's ESPN top-ranked boxing promotions has won the rights to Devin Haney versus Sador Martin for Devin Haney's WBC world title at the 140-pound division in the sport of boxing. Bob Arum was the only promoter to do a bid for this fight. And the bidding was at $2.42 million, meaning Devin Haney would only make a total of $1.52 million if this fight were to happen. So my thoughts on that. The fact that Bob Arum was the only boxing promoter to actually put a bid in for this championship fight speaks volumes. I'm talking about all boxing promoters. Eddie Hearn didn't do it. For anybody on Matchroom didn't do it. I'm talking about Oscar De La Hoya. Nobody in Golden Boy Promotions. Al Heyman and PBC. Nobody did it. Only Bob Arum's ESPN top rank. So that speaks volumes to how low Devin Haney's stock currently is right now in the sport of boxing. And at that point, Devin Haney might as well vacate his WBC world title because he would only be making $1.52 million defending his WBC world title after coming off the biggest payday of his boxing career when he fought Ryan Garcia a few months ago. So it's funny to me that Devin Haney was talking shit about Shakur Stevenson's pay and how much he makes, but Shakur Stevenson is about to fight Frank Martin's leftovers and Artem Adesanya in a few weeks in the sport of boxing. And Shakur Stevenson is going to make double of what Devin Haney is supposed to allegedly make for his next WBC world title defense against Sador Martin if he does go through with that fight. And I don't like the fact that Devin Haney is losing focus in the sport of boxing now. I understand that this happened to you. It's time to move on. Your zero is still intact. And he's now claiming when he returns to the sport of boxing that he's been an undisputed champion. He's not fighting in weight classes anymore. Brother, you don't have the ability to do that. You are not a prize fighter. You're not a box office attraction. You can't just say, I'm not fighting in weight classes anymore. That's not how the sport of boxing works for any top tier name in the sport of boxing. Is Canelo Alvarez doing that, saying, I'm not fighting in any weight class anymore, and he's a cash cow, the face of boxing? No. Gervonta Davis doing that, a cash cow, bringing casuals to the sport of boxing when he fights? No. You cannot. Somebody's got to get through to Devin Haney and Bill Haney. And once this happens, I think it will be best for the sport of boxing moving forward. Because right now, the nauseating Devin Haney fans are intolerable and unbearable to deal with right now in the sport of boxing. So let's move on to the last news that I have. It's the news about Jake Paul. Now, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson's fight that has been canceled for July 20th in Dallas, Texas. Instead, Jake Paul will be fighting Mike Perry, who is a MMA fighter / bare knuckle brawl fighter, in the place of Mike Tyson in July 20th in the sport of boxing. So let's tell the truth about Jake Paul here. The truth about Jake Paul is I give him a lot of credit for what he's doing. I like Jake Paul personally. I am a big fan of Jake Paul. And I'm not going to hate on the man's hustle, because what he's doing, he's hustling right now in the sport of boxing. It's like a legalized bank robbery or what he's truly doing. But at this point, Jake Paul, you got to stop disrespecting the sport of boxing. Either take it serious or get the hell out of boxing, because you cannot continue to fight guys that are older than 35 years of age. And all of his wins are against guys that are 35 years of age. And Jake Paul is a young cat that's supposed to be a legitimate fighter in the sport of boxing. You cannot have signature wins on your resume fighting washed up UFC / MMA guys of Nate Diaz, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva on your resume. This ain't flying no more. And when he fought somebody who was decent in Tommy Fury last year, it was a close fight, but he lost the fight. Instead of trying to get a rematch for a young guy in Tommy Fury, you're asking to fight Mike Tyson, who is nearly 60 years of age. And how is everything that you're doing right now in the sport of boxing preparing you to be a future world champion? I'm not buying the bullshit no more. Jake Paul either needs to take boxing serious or needs to get out of the sport, or just make a social, what should I say? Social media, I should say a YouTube influencer boxing league. That's how I should put it. A YouTube influencing boxing league that you can have Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI, Salt Poppy, or anybody else that you want to throw in the mix. Take that shit over there, because this is getting old in the sport of boxing. And I think we just need to see Jake Paul either fight legitimate fighters that are around his age range and a decent skill set and that have the decent skill set as him, or this just needs to end. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. There's your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.